Hi there friends, welcome back to another video. So today we are going to continue practicing our long I sound with that silent E, and we're going to be looking at a poem called A Windy Day. So as we work through that poem together, we're going to be finding those long I silent E words, and we're going to be building some of them afterwards as well. So let's go ahead and get started. So let's review, friends. What is silent E? It's the E that comes at the end of a word. And it's silent. It makes no sound at all. But this vowel, or this silent E, makes the vowel say its name. So let me show you what I'm talking about. This word is spelled M-I-N-E, and it's pronounced mine. If we sound it out though, I, we only hear 3 sounds, even though there's 4 letters. Now look what happens when we're on that I. Both the I and the E are highlighted in red, which means that we're using both of them to make this long I sound right now. If we didn't have that silent E, then we would hear a short I. Min. But since we have that silent E tacked on the end there, it's going to hop back and make the vowel say its name, in this case I, and so we would sound it out like this. I, mine. So that's what we're going to be working on today. Let's watch our silent E video with Jack Hartmann before we get too far into things.
Silent E, come on and learn with me. Silent E, we'll help you write and read. Silent E. When letter E is at the end of some words, it's called silent E when it can't be heard. Silent E jumps one consonant back to the vowel and tells it to say the long vowel sound. Here's the word at. A says ah. Add silent E to the end of the word. Now you have 8. A says A. Silent E. Here's the word pet. E says eh. Add silent E to the end of the word. Now you have Pete. E says E. Silent E. Here's the word kit. I says I. Add silent E to the end of the word. Now you have kite. I says I. Silent E. Silent E, come on and learn with me. Silent E, we'll help you write and read. Here's the word hop. O says ah. Add silent E to the end of the word. Now you have hope. O says O. Silent E. Here's the word cut. U says Add silent E to the end of the word. Now you have cute. U says U. Silent E. Silent E, come on and learn with me. Silent E, we'll help you write and read.
All right, so now that we've done a little Jack Hartmann, we've reviewed how that silent E works. It comes onto that end of the word, hops back one consonant to make the vowel say its name or its long sound. Now that we've reviewed all of that, let's read our poem. Our poem today is called A Windy Day. As I read, I want you to follow along and see if you can pick out any of those words that have the long I, silent E combination. A windy day. The day was windy. The sun was bright. I took out my bike, my ball, and my kite. Did I want to hike or ride my bike? I think I might just fly my kite. What an awesome little poem there, friends. There are some great rhyming words too. But first, let's look for those long I, silent E words. These words are going to have 4 letters. The last letter in each of those words is going to be E, and we're going to hear a long I sound in the middle. So let's look at our first line. The day was windy. Do you hear any words in that line that have the long I sound? No, I don't either. I see windy, but that has the I sound, short I. The next line says, the sun was bright. Do you hear any words in that line that have the long I sound, I? That's right, I hear the word bright. But let's look at the word bright. Is it spelled with a long I, silent E? No, it's not. It has I-G-H-T, making the ite sound there at the end. So while it does have the long I sound, it's not in long I, silent E word. So we're not going to mark it, but I am glad that we pointed that out. Our third line says, I took out my bike. Do you hear any words in that line that have the long I sound? Good, I hear the word bike. And bike, as we can see, B-I-K-E, has the silent E there at the end. We don't hear it, but we do hear the long I sound. B-I-K, bike. Our fourth line in that stanza says, my ball and my kite. Do you see any words there or hear any words that have the long I sound? Awesome, the word kite. K-I-T, kite. We see the E at the end, but we don't hear it. We just hear the long I sound, I. So that 4 letters, 3 sounds, those are those CVCE words or silent E words. K-I-T, kite. Let's look at our second stanza. Did I want to hike? Which word in that line has the long I, silent E? Good, the word hike. H-I-K, hike. 3 sounds and 4 letters with that silent E at the end and the long sound I in the middle. Our next line says, or ride my bike. I'll give you a hint. There are 2 words in this line that have the long I, silent E. Very good, friends. That first word is ride, R-I-D-E, R-I-D, ride. And our second word is bike, B-I-K, bike, spelled B-I-K-E. So both of those words have the long I, silent E combination there. That's giving us our long I sound I with the E at the end. Our next line says, I think I might. While I do see the word might there and hear the long I sound I don't see any words with a silent E. So let's go to our last line. Just fly my kite. Which word in that line has a long I, silent E? Awesome, the word kite. K-I-T, kite. K-I-T-E, 4 letters, but only 3 sounds. So friends, let's look at some of our rhyming words here. We're first going to take a look at the word hike. Okay, so H-I-K-E, hike. Which one of these 3 words rhymes with hike? Does bike rhyme with hike? Does might rhyme with hike? Or does kite rhyme with hike? If you guessed bike, you are correct. Bike and hike both have the ike ending, which means they are rhyming words. Let's take a look at our last 2 words here. Might, kite. Do you think might and kite are rhyming words? If you said yes, you're absolutely correct. They both have the ite ending. So even though they're spelled differently, the word might has I-G-H-T saying the ite sound, and the word kite has I-T-E saying the ite sound. It's not just about the spelling, it's about what it's saying. So our rhyming words, might, kite, are still rhyming words even though they are spelled differently. So now let's do some missing letters here, friends. This is a bike. They've given us our final E, our silent E there. So we need to figure out what letters we're missing. What's the first sound we hear in bike? Good, the first sound is B. We know that B says B, so we're going to write a B in our first blank. What's the middle sound you hear in bike? Good, we hear I, right? And it's saying it's long sound because of that silent E. And what's the last sound we hear in bike? Good, we hear a K made by the letter K. So we have B-I-K-E, bike. Let's keep going. So our next word here is kite. Kite. They've given us our first letter, K. So the next thing we need to figure out is the middle sound. What's the middle sound you hear in kite? Good, we hear I, right? K, I. And what's that last sound? T. Very good, made by the letter T. But friends, we still have a missing letter. What other letter do we need to put at the end of this word to make it kite? That's correct, we need silent E. Without that silent E, this word is kit. K-it, kit. But once we put that silent E on the end, we have k-ite, kite. That silent E is hopping back to make the vowel long. Our next picture is hike. Hike. They've given us our middle letter, I, or our middle sound. So what's our first sound in hike? Good, the first sound in hike is h. We know that H says h, so we're going to write an H in our first blank. They've given us our second letter I, which means we can go to our third sound. What is the third sound you hear in hike? Good, the third sound is k, made by the letter K. So now we have h, I, k. But wait, what letter do we need to put at the end? Silent E, absolutely correct, friends. Without that silent E, we would have a short sound I instead of the long sound I. So with that silent E, we get the word h, I, k, hike. So here's our picture of ride, ride. What's the first sound we hear in ride? Good, the first sound is made by the letter R. What's the next sound we hear in ride? Good, the next sound is I, right? And we see that there's already a silent E at the end, making our vowel say its name. What is the third sound you hear in ride? Very good. The third sound is D, made by the letter D. So the word ride is spelled R-I-D-E and pronounced R-I-D, ride. Our code word today is was, W-A-S, was. If I were to use this word in a sentence, I might say, I was going to get dessert, but now I'm not hungry. Was, W-A-S, was. So friends, when you get to Seesaw, this is what your paper is going to look like. There's going to be a place off to the side here to write that code word, was, W-A-S. And there's a video on the page as well if you need the instructions again. But listen up as I'm going to tell them to you now. The first thing you're going to do is write 4 long I silent E words you found in the poem. So remember, friends, all of the words that we found together on our poem, we highlighted. So any of these highlighted words would be good words to write on the line. For example, I might choose the word bike, B-I-K-E. That means here in the blank, I would write B-I-K-E, bike. Since I have 3 more blanks, I need to choose 3 more words that have the long I, silent E combination there. Then I'm going to come here to the bottom. I need to sound out each of these words and decide whether it's a real word or a nonsense word. If it's a real word, I'm going to use my highlighter tool to color it in. If it's a nonsense word, I'm going to leave it blank. So if I sounded out this word here, B-I-F, bife. Is bife a real word? No, that's not a real word, so I would leave that one blank. But if I sounded out this word, S-I-D, side, side is a real word, so I'm going to color that box in. After you've done that, you're going to count up however many words you colored and write that number here at the bottom. So, to put it all together, the first thing you do is write the code word. The next thing you do is write 4 long I words. The third thing you do is color the real words. And the last thing you do is write down the number of real words that you colored. All of that is in the video instructions on the assignment as well if you forget or need help. So friends, that about wraps it up for us today. If you need any help while you're working, come back and watch this video again. Otherwise, best of luck. I cannot wait to see what you guys come up with on Seesaw. And until then, I'll see y'all next time. Bye for now.